Hey friends, Allison here. Welcome back to my channel. I have a new layout to share with you today that is going into a 6x8 album. Rather than using Elle Edwards products this time around, I decided to use Elle Studio. I thought that one of the pattern papers from the Love paper kit would work really well for the story that I wanted to tell, which is about my Mother's Day gift for this year. My sister recently had purchased the 23andMe DNA kit for herself, and she told me that for Mother's Day weekend it was going on sale and I should consider getting it for myself. I mentioned it to my husband and he told me to get it, so I ordered it online and thought that I needed to share this story like right now. So that's what I did. So both pattern papers are from Elle Studio. The pattern paper that is bordering the left-hand side of my layout base, to me, reminds me of the DNA strands on the DNA kit. The colors too were perfect. So that is why I chose this paper. And then when I found the little speech bubble paper, I thought that it would work really well too, because it has phrases on it like love this, saying yes to this, and things along those lines. And I just thought that it was perfect. It was a no-brainer to use that paper. I did incorporate my Cricut into this layout as well. So I made my own title using my Cricut. I used the write function to write the phrase writing my, and then finish the phrase with one genome at a time. I asked my daughter if it was corny. She said yes. I asked a few other people if they thought it was corny. One came back no, the other one said yes, but it was cute. So I ran with it. I thought that it would work really well to highlight the story that I am sharing, so I just kept it the way that it was. And then story is a larger phrase that I ended up welding together. I cut it from plain white cardstock and then ink blended the bottom half of it, mostly just so that it didn't blend into that white pattern paper it's sitting on top of. The pink worked really well with this layout anyways, because it's in that little dotty paper on the left-hand side of my layout base. The layout base measures 7 inches by 8¼ inches, and the top portion of the layout, at least where the title is, measures roughly, what is it now? It's bigger than 4x6. I'm going to say it's at least 4¼ inches tall by slightly shorter than 6 inches, just because when I wrote the title, I used the write and cut function and it didn't totally cut 6 inches because I keep forgetting about the margin on the Cricut. So it's like 1/4 inch short. It should have been 4¼ by 6 inches, but it's not. I also, because of that little mistake, had to trim down my photo. So I trimmed it so it's a little bit smaller than 3x4 inches. It should have been the same size as my journal card, which is also from Elle Studio as well. I think it's also from the Love kit as well. This was like back in February that this kit was released and that I got it. So they are being adhered beneath my 4x6 journal card. I'm going to trim off the excess, I think is what I'm doing. Also, as far as the story portion of the title goes, I popped that up with foam squares as well, just to give it a little bit of separation from the layout base behind it. I decided to use this little pennant that says start here, which I thought would be paired perfectly with my little journal card and my journaling. So I'm adding that to the right-hand side of the layout. And then I'm going to embellish as well with other bits and pieces from Elle Studio as well. So this yellow arrow tab is going at the top. It also says saying yes to this, which I thought was, once again, perfect. I also found a little red arrow, and I'm going to put that beside the one genome at a time phrase. All of these little bits are tear apart. They're like perforated. cardstock. It's not chipboard or anything, it's just paper. So there's that little red arrow, and then I'm going to use a chipboard heart. I was trying to decide whether I wanted to use that red one or the pink one up there. My daughter told me the pink one blended in too much with the ink blending, and instead I should use the red one. Normally, I'm not a fan of pink and red together, but I thought she was right, so I did stick with the red chipboard. I'm just adding some liquid glue to the back of it to be sure it stays put and doesn't fall off at some point in the future. So that's going to sit on top of the O, and it straddles the R too just a little bit. But that's it. This layout came together so quickly. Oh, here, my daughter and I are discussing where I'm going to add the date. I decided to add the date right along the little black pennant. I'm going to use yellow ink to add the date as well. And that's it for me. I'm punching holes to be sure it's ready for going inside my album, and that's it. I do have close-ups coming up at the end of the video, so feel free to stick around for that. Also, I wanted to mention that this layout was actually created for the online crop that was happening this past weekend for International Scrapbooking Day at Scrapbook Nerd. I can't remember at the moment what challenge I entered this one for, but it was for one of the 8 that are happening. If you'd like to play along, I will leave the link down in the description box so you can find us easily. In the meantime, enjoy my close-ups. If you liked my video, please give me a thumbs up and a like. If you're new here, welcome. And I hope you stick around for more inspiration. Bye, guys.